If you're running a firm and feeling like everyone is constantly slammed, but that profit pool at the end of the year just isn't budging, well, we've got some answers for you. Today, we're diving into a data-driven masterclass on law firm economics, pulling straight from PerformLaw's methodology on true client profitability. We're going to tear down some major revenue illusions and move you from just staring at top-line numbers to taking highly profitable action. To make this super concrete, we're doing a little role play. I'm stepping in as the firm's data analyst, and my co-host here is playing the defensive senior partner. Let's set the scene.
We can't touch our highest grossing account. They bring in millions in fees every single year.
But have you looked at their net profit? High volume frequently masks an underperforming account.
How can a massive account lose us money?
That, right there, is the million-dollar question. Literally, is the ultimate trap so many successful firms fall into without even blinking. We all celebrate that top-line revenue, right? Those gross fees make an account look like this massive, untouchable whale. High fives all around when the monthly billing drops. But when we actually apply PerformLaw's methodology to figure out the actual net profit, the reality shifts fast. As you can see, that net profit plummets. It completely tanks into the negative zone below zero. That massive client? They aren't generating wealth for the partnership. They're actually subsidizing their own legal work using your firm's capital. The sheer volume of work is just masking a deep structural flaw.
So the big takeaway here is understanding the stark difference between a vanity metric and a sanity metric. Gross fees, pure vanity. Gross margin is just what's left after basic direct costs, and we love looking at it because the numbers are huge. But sanity metrics tell the actual truth. Picture your end-of-year partner meeting. You've got millions in gross revenue from this whale, but the actual distributable cash is completely flat. If your net margin is negative, you've got a client making maybe partial contributions to overhead and literally zero contribution to the profit pool the partners actually draw from. You are quite literally paying for the privilege of working for them.
Section 1. Calculating true direct costs. Let's look under the hood.
To really grasp how a giant account bleeds money, we have to totally rewire how we view our data. Following PerformLaw's lead, no guessing allowed, we need the hard data right out of the time and billing systems. When we say true direct costs, we mean the heavy, specific expenses tied directly to the people grinding on that file. Obviously, timekeeper pay and their full benefits package. Because every single time an associate bills an hour, a chunk of their salary, their healthcare, and the firm's matching taxes goes right along with it. But it doesn't stop there. PerformLaw points out this also includes secretarial and clerical support salaries. And since Per-se costing is the standard now, your software licenses, cloud storage, IT support, those are all direct costs too. Every single hour worked carries a really heavy financial backpack.
And this breakdown really drives that home. It shows exactly why that financial backpack weighs so much. Looking at PerformLaw's standard industry allocations, a whopping 70 to 75% of your costs are direct costs. Only 25 to 30% are indirect overhead. Stop and think about what that means for your high-volume client for a second. The vast majority of the cash walking out your firm's door is tied directly to the timekeepers working that whale account. If a client is eating up to 75% of your costs through timekeeper effort, but the realization rate on their invoices is terrible, or the billing rates are slashed to the bone, your firm is just churning massive amounts of human capital for absolutely zero return.
Section 2. The overhead allocation trap.
Okay, this is where firms bleed the most profit without even knowing it. Most places just lump all their overhead together, like rent, marketing, malpractice insurance, and chop it up equally by head or by hour across everyone. PerformLaw argues that is a massive mistake. Instead, they push for a graduated overhead absorption model. What's that mean? It means overhead is applied based on a timekeeper's seniority and their actual draw on the firm's resources. Why do it this way? Well, first, it gives your younger lawyers the runway they need to build value without crushing them under an impossible cost burden. It removes that weird internal disincentive where you avoid using associates for lower-level tasks. And most importantly, it forces waste, inefficiency, and the cost of premium resources directly onto the partners who actually use them.
Think about it like an office building. A senior equity partner takes the massive corner office, needs top-tier admin support, demands the best tech stack, and gets the most juice out of expensive marketing campaigns. A junior associate or a paralegal, they just don't consume those resources, so they shouldn't be penalized with some flat blended overhead rate. Under a PerformLaw's graduated model, an equity partner absorbs a full share of the overhead, while a non-equity partner might only take a 0.75 share. The firm absolutely has to stop pretending that deploying a senior partner is just as cheap as deploying a third-year associate.
Which brings us to this seriously eye-opening breakdown from the source material. It calculates the true overhead cost per hour, using billable hours as the denominator. When you actually add up timekeeper pay, direct secretary support, facility costs, marketing, and general admin expenses, the total cost per hour for Partner 1 skyrockets to almost $191 per hour. Wait, $191 an hour just in pure costs before we even make a single dollar of profit? Exactly. $191 an hour is literally the break-even point just for that partner to sit at their desk. If that partner is doing routine document review or basic client management on a massive account at some heavily discounted volume rate, every single hour they bill is just quietly nuking the firm's margin.
Section 3. Revealing the blind spots.
3 structural blind spots: an inefficient staffing mix where partners do associate work, an uncompetitive overhead structure, or poor realization performance due to chronic write-offs.
Identifying these exact blind spots using real data is a total game changer for firm management. Like the source material emphasizes, singular strategies just aren't optimal. When a client isn't profitable, the absolute knee-jerk reaction is always, well, we just need to raise their rates. But raising rates is a really blunt instrument. If your staffing mix is fundamentally broken, raising the rate just makes you completely uncompetitive and you might lose the client altogether. But if you analyze this high-volume, underperforming account with crystal-clear data, your options open up. You might be able to fix that profit margin not by touching the sticker price at all, but just by shifting the staffing mix so younger lawyers handle the heavy lifting. That instantly drops the direct costs and the overhead burden per hour, transforming a major loss leader right back into a highly profitable account, and you never even have to have that awkward rate conversation with the client. Section 4. Moving from analysis to action.
So, when you finally stop obsessing over the top line and you methodically allocate your direct costs and graduated overhead to every single hour billed, the reality is just undeniable. So, gross fees are a vanity metric.
Often, yes. You need proper client ranking tools to measure actual profit dollars contributed. To see how to rank your accounts, download the full PerformLaw guide via the link.
And that is the biggest takeaway from our explainer today. We all love to celebrate the huge wins, the massive retainers, and those high-volume whales that keep the lights on and everyone busy. But busy does not always mean profitable. Without rigorous, data-driven overhead allocation and real cost analysis, you're completely flying blind. Peeling back the curtain on this data can be a bit of a shock at first, for sure, but it's literally the only way to build a sustainable, genuinely profitable practice. So I'll leave you with this final, provocative thought to take to your next partner meeting. Is your highest grossing client actually your biggest liability?